Hello everyone and welcome back to Sil's Kitchen. Today we're back with a brand new video on this channel. It's been a while, but today we're back. We're going to make one of my beloved recipes, burgers. These will be like slider type burgers, a little bit smaller and very basic, but it's just what I love to make at home. Let's get started, I guess. Let's start by grinding the meat. First you want thin strips, something like this. It's easier for your grinder to do. By the way, if you don't want to grind your own meat, you could just buy some good ground meat at the butcher and you'll be totally fine. I just prefer to do it this way since you can choose what kind of meat you would like. I am using short rib right now, boneless short rib, and it's very good. It's just like a little bit fatty, but not too much. A good tip for this is to slightly freeze the meat before slicing. It's easier to slice and easier to grind as well. Make sure to pick something with quite a bit of fat on it. It'll make the burger way more delicious. So now it's time to grind the meat. First of all, turn on your meat grinder and put your meat in slowly. And just like this, our ground beef is done. Now we need to make some patties out of it. First off, because this meat is quite loose and it's a very rough grind, we need to add an egg to stabilize all of the meat together. Just crack an egg. Maybe two if you have a little bit more. I think this is around 800 grams or something. You want to also add your spices. I like to keep my burgers quite simple. First off, around 1 tablespoon of salt, maybe a little bit less. I do around 1 tablespoon per kilo. It looks like a lot of salt, but it's also a lot of meat. Then some freshly cracked black pepper. Then half a tablespoon of garlic powder, half a tablespoon of onion powder, some MSG, and now we need to mix it all together. You could do this with your gloves, but you could also just use a spoon. I like to work with my hands. And as you can see, this homemade ground beef is way better than most store-bought because you see a lot of these white fat dots, and that's just pure flavor. Also, some people say to don't salt your burgers before cooking because it makes them more tough, makes them lose moisture and that kind of stuff. The losing moisture part is true, but if you have enough fat in your burger with home ground beef, it doesn't really matter. And the making tough, it doesn't really work like that. You just need to not overknead your ground beef. Now what you want is some flat disc. It could be a cup. I have this burger press thingy, but you don't even need it. You can just do it with the palm of your hand. And you get yourself a bowl of the ground beef mixture. Try to get like a big fistful, something like this. Let's see how much this weighs. 130, like between 125 and 150 is good, so I'll aim to have my burgers around 135. And what you want to do now is you want to press these into burger shapes. So get them all together, get your disc, and just flatten them out, just like this, and then you can finish it off into a nice shape with your spatula. And this is a nice homemade patty. Continue doing this for the rest of the balls. And just like this, our burgers are done. Now you do want to set them in the fridge for around 20 minutes at least, just so that all the burgers can stiffen up a bit, because otherwise they might fall apart while it's cooking. Next up we will make the sauce. For the sauce I'm using some chives. Chives give a very nice onion flavor, also give some contrast to the color of the sauce since it will be primarily like red orangey. A green hint is always very nice. Normally you can cut chives on like a damp towel or a paper towel with some moisture on it. It's way easier, but I'm gonna just do it rough for now. I like a lot of chives. You can adjust the amount to your liking. Next up we will cut some dill pickles. 1 or 2 depending on the size. I don't want my soup or my sauce too sour. These are some sweet sour dill pickles. They're very nice and give a good crunch. Add all of that into the bowl as well. Followed up by the mayonnaise. I use around 3 tablespoons for this amount, maybe 4. Some mustard, 1 teaspoon. And then about half the mayonnaise you've used, you just do in ketchup, around this much. Complement that with 1 tablespoon of Worcester sauce, a couple drops of hot sauce, some salt, pepper, and MSG. Now mix everything together. And this will make a very delicious burger sauce. And now put the sauce in the fridge together with your burgers to stiffen up and get more flavor. A burger wouldn't be complete with some cheese, so I have 2 delicious kinds of cheese. I have 1 aged Gouda cheese and also a spicy cheddar. So I will just use this cheese razor to just make some slices out of it. It's very easy, but if you don't have one, you can easily do it with a knife or even grate the cheese. Get about 8 to 10 slices of each cheese. And now your cheddar, which might be a little bit harder to shave. Why I use 2 cheeses is just to give it more flavor, and also the cheddar helps with the meltability of the entire burger. Put this aside for now because we will only use it whilst cooking. Next up, the bacon. The bacon is totally optional. If you don't eat bacon or if you don't want to put bacon on it, you can skip it. But I think it adds a nice touch. And since I'm lazy, I always make bacon in the microwave. Just a very convenient way to make it. An air fryer also works very well, but making it on a pan, yes, it's good and you can get it even more crispy than in the microwave, but it takes a long time and you just ruin a pan. You need to do the dishes again, just a lot of hassle. And now you can put it into the microwave. Whilst the bacon is cooking, you can slice up your tomatoes. Tomatoes are a part of the burger that you can do really wrong or really well. Sometimes it's just a big slab of just tasteless water. But if you have some nice fleshy tomatoes like these and cut them at the right size and with some salt on it, they can be amazing. So first cut off the top. And now you can cut like semi-thick slices. Put the tomatoes you've just sliced onto a plate with a paper towel on it to drain all the moisture. And now salt the tomatoes and set these aside. Next up, we need to toast our buns. I've made some homemade sliders. They turned out a little small, but it doesn't really matter. Get yourself a cast iron or some heavy bottom pan and put it on medium heat. Just a dab of oil. Swirl it around for a bit so everything is evenly distributed. And just lightly toast all of your buns. You can buy homemade buns, you can buy baker buns, whatever you want. After about 30 seconds, you can take a look and see if they're done. And if they're nice and toasted like this, they're pretty much done. So you can take them out. Now you can add just a tiny bit of oil into the pan, and it may not even be necessary depending on how fatty your burgers are. And just swirl it around again. Get your pan nice and hot, around medium-high heat. And then we can finally start making the burgers. Get one of your patties right out of the fridge and drop it in there. You should hear a nice sizzle. If you have them, you can use burger presses. They're quite cheap and they're very useful for steaks, meat, and just to press down anything you would like, to be honest. Just put them on the beef, on the burger, and let it grill for about 2 minutes per side. 2.5. After about 2.5 minutes, you can remove the chest presses and flip the burger. And you can see this beautiful, perfect crust because I haven't moved the burger whatsoever. Beautiful. Now, immediately put on cheese slices. One of this one of the other. Lower the heat. And maybe add some more cheese if you would like. And have something cover the pan. Wait about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, depending on how done you would like the burger. And then it's done. By now, the cheese on the burger should be molten, so let's take a peek. And yes, that looks perfect. Lower the heat a bit, take your spatula and just scoop the burger out of there. Don't forget, let the burgers rest for at least 5 minutes. Once the burger has properly rested, you can take it on your bench and let's start plating with all the material we need. Get your toasted bun, get a big dollop of your sauce on both sides, put your tomato on the bottom half, followed by your burger, a slice or two of bacon, a little bit of jalapenos, and add some lettuce to the top of your bun to crown the king. And this, you have a very amazing burger. Juicy, delicious, and just very simple. It's all about the quality and technique of the ingredients. Thank you everyone for watching my video. I hope you liked this recipe. If you would like a recipe on how the buns are made or anything else, please feel free to ask me in the comments. I'm going to devour this burger right now and I hope you all enjoy it. Bye bye.